tried making your own burger buns? There's a big difference between store-bought and homemade burger buns. This recipe is pretty easy and delicious to do, so let's get started. Before we get started, if you do like this video, click on the like button and subscribe to my channel so I can bring you more content like this. First thing we're going to do is make tenzin. For making tenzin, you need 4 tablespoons or 60 grams of milk, in which you're going to add 2 tablespoons or 14 grams of flour. You're going to stir that up on low heat until you get a proper consistency. We're basically trying to cook some flour in milk and get a smooth paste out of it. Basically what this does is it really makes our bread soft and chewy. Once you're done, your end result should look something like this. Kind of zoomed in and showing it to you guys. Next we're going to take half a cup or 125 grams of milk, in which we're going to add about 1 tablespoon or 9 grams of active dry yeast. We're going to stir that up and set it aside for 10 minutes so it gets activated. Next, we're going to add 2.5 cups or 320 grams of bread flour. Note I'm using bread flour, not all-purpose flour. Then we're going to add 1 teaspoon or 7 grams of salt. Next, we're going to add 1/4 cup or 52 grams of sugar. And we're going to next add 1 whole egg. Next, we're going to add 1/4 cup yogurt. This part is optional, so it's up to you if you want to add it or not. Finally, we're going to mix in our yeast mixture and make sure you get every last bit of your yeast, because the less you have in there, the less chance it will fail to rise. Finally, we're going to add our tenzin paste into our mixture, and we're going to start mixing everything up pretty soon. I like to use the back of a wooden spoon for mixing purposes, so we're going to start mixing until everything gets combined together. Once it's combined, we can then start using our hands. So here you can see I'm mixing everything as the best I can. Having a proper food mixer would be nice, but using hands is good enough. At the end, your dough should look something like this, and we're going to put a lid on it and set it aside for 2 hours and let it rise. After 2 hours, your dough should have doubled in size. Mine did. This bowl is pretty big, so that's why it's kind of hard to see that, but mine did double in size. Next, we're going to put it out on a flat surface, and we're going to give it a little mix. Also, at this point, we're going to make sure we get all the air out from the dough as well. It's going to rise again once we form our individual buns. Using this recipe, you should be able to make 6 good buns out of this. So I'm starting to cut them in half, and then cut them into 3s, while I make sure the dough doesn't stick to the board. Finally, we're going to try to form our buns. So to do that, you're just going to roll it into a ball. Try to do it the best you can. It may be best to make sure that it's perfect, because otherwise it's going to form cracks around it. So to make the burger bun, I basically rolled it until it came together. Once you're done, your burger bun should look like this. We're going to let it rest for another 30 minutes to an hour. Put it in a warm place. I normally put it inside the oven. Next, I'm going to apply an egg wash. Making egg wash is pretty simple. All you do is add some milk to 1 whole egg and whisk it. We're going to apply it generously around each bun. If you don't want to use eggs, you could just use milk and apply the milk wash on top of each bun. Make sure, again, you generously cover each bun. Otherwise, they won't turn that beautiful golden brown color. At this point, we're ready to go in the oven. So we're going to bake this at 375 Fahrenheit or 200 degrees centigrade. Bake it for about 18 minutes. If you follow the recipe right, your output should look like this. Beautiful golden brown burger buns. I'm going to apply some butter on top for that nice softness and shininess. So apply generous butter around each bun. So this is pretty much it for making amazing burger buns. Do try this. I guarantee you'll find a big difference between these and the store-bought ones. Once you make these, I think you're going to be making them every time you make burgers. Finally, let me know what do you think of this video, what do you think of the recipe. Give any comments or feedback down below. And before I head out, here's a B-roll of everything.
And it goes a little